sitting on his lap.
Dan Renner is going to try to join us.
Where is Richard? He's going to the restaurant.
thank God.
He's there. Can we nominate him? Why? You wanted to
No.
take it again?
No.
How's our attorney doing?
He's up there exploded.
No. What are you driving there?
I got her little, your mom's gonna be on it.
Hello, sir. How are you doing?
Who's that with,
TWN MEC.
we talked to them, they wanted us to underwrite it, and then kind of, because all EC stands for them, they're like the main guy. They're like, come in here, work for us, all this, and we're gonna put you on. They want to leave because there's not much work for them, because they're bigger market. And then he said, "Yeah, but I don't want it." I'm like, I'm good, I'm not gonna come down over the hill for nothing.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to call to order the January 27th, 2026 Mojave County Building Code Advisory Board meeting. If you would, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Now, if we could have roll call.
Chairman Richard Hamilton,
Here.
Vice Chairman Peter Profit, Board Member Azarmi,
Here.
Board Member McKee,
Here.
Board Member Renner, and Board Member Rudy.
Here.
Oh, and Board Member Walker.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we do have a quorum.
Thank you. It has so been informed we have a quorum. First item we have is the approval of the minutes from November 18th, 2025. Has
So
everybody
moved.
had a chance to look over those? And if so, if we can get a motion to accept those.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second that we accept the approval of the meeting, the minutes of the meeting from November 18th, 2025. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes passed. We have no new business at this meeting, so we're going to roll right into the new business. First item of business is recognition of board members' service. Mr. Scott Holte will give you the floor.
Thank you, Chairman. We realize that this really is a thankless job, serving on this board. It's your volunteers. We really do appreciate all that you have done for the county and continue to do for the county. We'd like to recognize that in some form. Mostly thanking you for the job well done and for your service with the county. We do have some certificates, and so we'll read those certificates off. We'd like to get a little photo of you and your certificate. You can stay seated. We're going to have, Gilbert's going to be our runner back and forth with the certificates. And then we'll do a group picture afterwards. But first, we'd like to recognize our chairman, Richard Hamilton. He's been with the county since 2018 serving on this advisory board. So thank you, Mr. Richard Hamilton. Next I have is Peter Prophet. Peter Prophet's not here with us today, but has been a member of the board since 2020. One of our longest-standing ones, Mehdi Azarmi, has been with the Building Code Advisory Board since 2005.
Thank you.
And we really do appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Azarmi.
Thank you so much.
Doug McKee has been with us for quite some time as well, 2013. Thank you very much for all that you do for us. Thank you. Rex Ruge, 2018 as well. Thank you very much. Mr. Dan Renner has been with us since 2018 as well. We'll get him his certificate next time we see him. And last but not least, Mr. Keith Walker has been with us from
1800.
800.
2013. Quite some time. If we could maybe come to the front, we'll get a big group picture with your certificate. That would be amazing. Again, thank you very much for all that you do.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Too bad that we didn't know about this. Otherwise, we should have done the same thing, certificates for the director and also the building official and the building department, because they're doing a great job. Yeah. And, I wish we had the opportunity to do the same for them. And I think that I just, as a member, I'd like to thank you and thank, Gilbert, for wonderful job that you're doing and your team. It's not an easy job, we know, and dealing with us and dealing with the community, private sector, as well as, the Board of Supervisors. I know that, you guys definitely should have like some sort of a certificate. So again, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And I would like to add that thank every member of the board as well. I know this is a volunteer position, and I know we have to take time out to get here. And your service is greatly appreciated. Thank you. The next item of business is the election of officers. We're rolled into the 2026 year, and it is time for the election of officers. So I open the floor to the board.
I would nominate Richard Hamilton to remain our chief.
It's been nominated that I remain as the chairman of the Mojave County Building Code Advisory Board. Is there any discussion on this, or?
I'll second that.
May I make a nomination?
Pardon me?
May I make a nomination as well?
Absolutely.
I'd like to nominate Mehdi Azarmi for the chair.
Mehdi has also been nominated as the chair, and we'll go in for an election off the board, I believe, unless there's any more nominations.
I have a question. Mehdi, have you been chairman before?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know how long it's been, but you're open to it?
I'm okay, I just want to provide service. It doesn't matter, I mean, if it's okay with Rich or anything like that.
Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I've been the chairman of the Planning and Zoning Commission for many years, and also, Code Advisory Board and all that. So, I mean, title doesn't mean anything, we just need to provide service.
Thank you.
And with that said, I accept the nomination, and I would have to ask you if you accept as well before we...
Well, I have to respect Doug McKee, yes, I would accept that.
Thank you.
So we'll go into an election of the officers from the board. All those Commissioner Zarmi for chairman, signify by saying aye, or raise your hand, if you could, please. 2. And for Chairman Hamilton, raise your hand as well. I don't know if I vote on this or not. Was that a yes or a no, Mitty, or just a?
Right? Yes, of course, I mean,
Well, I had you doing that on both, so I was kind of just being clear.
Well, the fact is that, it would be like, what's that? We want to make sure that, it doesn't matter. I mean, I appreciate Doug Mackey's, vote of confidence in me and all, but, that's fine.
Mr. Chairman, I view this as two separate motions, and so members could vote yes in both, and also you can vote if you wish.
I vote for me. It doesn't matter. We're all here. I think what would be most important in this election would be our vice chair, to be honest. So at this point in time, I believe then the election is I'm retained as chairman. The next, thank you, the next I would have to say would be for vice chair. Is that correct?
Correct.
Do we have any nominations for vice chair? Currently, we have Mr. Peter Prophet as our vice chair.
I got to get Mehdi on there somehow. If I could.
I appreciate that.
Of course,
Second.
Mehdi.
Any other nominations? It's been nominated and seconded that Mehdi Azarmi is for vice chair. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
The next item of business is the discussion and possible action regarding meeting attendance. This is, you all in your handouts have a handout from the Board of Supervisors, I believe it is, the resolution as far as our membership, our meeting attendance, so forth and so on. I brought this up at the last meeting on our attendance. It does say in our attendance very clearly, when a board member misses 3 consecutive meetings with unexcused absences, the advisory board may recommend to the Board of Supervisors that the position be declared vacant and that a new person be appointed to serve the remainder of the term. That is the only thing that we have clear on this as far as membership. Now, one of the reasons that I brought this up is we run into a few issues of call-ins for the meeting. And my personal feeling with this is that we have one meeting a quarter or as needed. And I feel that if we want to continue to serve in our position, we can probably make these meetings. I do understand that there are circumstances where we can't always make the meeting because of a driver, so forth and so on. I wanted to get this on the agenda, and I wanted to know the board's thoughts on this.
Chairman Hamilton, if I can elaborate a little bit. Yes, in your packet is our ordinance, County Resolution 24-075. It is the functions and duties of the Building Code Advisory Board. And if you hadn't seen it yet, but the second page, Exhibit A, Article 2, is the category of membership. And like you said, Chairman, The only paragraph in the functions and duties is this paragraph of unexcused absences. The board can choose to elaborate on that, rewrite it, write something else into it. It's pretty vague. Did want to say that since COVID, we've had some discussion with staff and some other of the committee meetings. Since COVID, they've been a lot of online and a lot of different ways to do meetings, basically. I know we've had call-ins before, and that hasn't worked too well. It doesn't seem like the person is here at all. We've kind of gone to a Teams-type meeting, where if they do call in, they would be up on the screen, visible to us. So that's one difference right now that we could have. But again, the board can alter and adopt a different resolution.
Does the board have any discussion on this?
I personally, the call-in was rough, the connection was always bad. With Teams, I've never done Teams with the county, but I've done Teams with the city. Seems to work good. I think we need to possibly keep that as an option.
Yes.
Okay.
I would just add, I kind of share your feeling that it's once a quarter, not too many meetings unless you're out of the country, out of town or something. I think, the members need to make it a point to make these meetings.
Turn it off. Mr. Chair, I would just advise that any changes that were made or recommended here would have to be recommended to the Board of Supervisors for them to adopt into this into an amended resolution.
Yes, yes, we understand that. And like I said, I'm not throwing stones at anybody or anything like that. I know that there's circumstances where you can't make the meeting, and we understand that. I'm gonna just come right out and say it. We've got a member that I've never met, and I find that to be personally unsatisfactory. I feel that if we want to be a volunteer in a position for the county to help make decisions for the county, that we all need to be here and be able to show our presence and our desire to help with the county. And that's why I brought this forward. I agree with Teams I as well. I've done it with the county. I've had my difficulty trying to log in, but it was more user error than anything. But this is where I'm at with this. So if we can somebody, maybe we can give a recommendation to the Board of Supervisors if we'd like to change this and send it to them.
Mr. Chairman, have we tried to contact the two board members that usually they don't come here on the meetings?
I have personally not, no.
Has anyone approached them to see you have? Okay, and what's their input?
Mr. Chair, I believe last time we had some issues, last Building Code Advisory Board meeting, we had some issues with a few individuals trying to log in or connect. And that's when we were trying to still use the phone system. I did speak to Mr. Peter Prophet. He says that he loves being on the board. He loves being able to supply some input, but physically being here would be difficult, and that without the option to maybe be virtual, it would be something that he might not be able to continue to do, is what he expressed to me. I have not spoken with Mr. Renner on this subject.
Chairman Hamilton, board members, I did talk with Mr. Renner. He just was reelected last year for a 4-year term. He does want to stay on to it. He travels a lot. He's I believe a realtor or a broker, so he's down in the Bullhead area quite a bit, but he's up in Washington State quite a bit also. So he was having some hard times physically meeting the meetings.
With that said, do we have any recommendations that we can send to the Board of Supervisors on changing or amending our articles?
Well, Mr. Chairman, these days with the electronic, as long as, the telecommunication is there, you don't really need to be in physical in a meeting to be able to, you know, say something or be involved. So I'm saying that, you know, if the system is gonna work, and it would be like, you know, because Pete is very valuable, he's a, you know, very good engineer and all that, I think that, you know, for that reason, I know that Dan Renner also has background in insurance and other stuff that, you know, he would be, you know, valuable. As long as they're interested and they want to participate, and we can provide the televised, you know, meeting, we should give it a try. And then, you know, if it doesn't work, then, you know, we can make that decision later on.
Mr. Chair, I will agree with what Board Member Zarmi's mentioning, that the system is quite different than what we've been trying to work with in the past. The Teams meeting, when somebody speaks, they'll be able to put their picture right up on the screen, and it's almost as if they're here. So if we wanted to give it a few meetings, trying that out to see how it works, if it's still a struggle, maybe we continue to look at it. But if it's not, maybe it's something that we stick with for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I like it.
I agree.
Chairman Hamilton and board members, if I could add also, if at the direction of the board, if a member does go unexcused on an absence, we can contact them or issue a letter to them, not putting them on notice, but letting them know about the 3 consecutive absences. Gets more in attendance.
So, sounds like on this agenda item, there no action taken?
There are two, based on the board's discussion, 2 possible actions. You could do no action, and then staff could bring it back later, or you could continue it to the 3rd quarter meeting of the year. That would give another meeting for this to be tested, and then if it doesn't work or is not to the satisfaction of the board, bring it back for the next one automatically.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I believe that, you know, we want to try it on the televised system first, you know, on you know, and see how it works. You know, if it's working, then, you know, we can keep going. If not, you know, it is not working, then we can make that decision.
Okay, then we'd have to be able to take action for the 3rd quarter meeting, and so we'd have to
Sure.
get a motion and a second and a vote on this.
And if it were to go to, if it were continued to the 3rd quarter meeting, it would automatically appear on that agenda regardless if the board accepted it or not.
Okay,
So no action required, correct?
0 action, right?
For it to not appear at all, unless
No,
the
not
board
right
wants
now.
to, then no action.
Okay.
I need a motion or a
I'll
second.
make a motion that no action be taken on that item.
It's been moved that, do we have a second on the no action on this item?
I'll second.
It's been moved and second that we take no action on this agenda item. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes. The 4th item on the agenda is the year-end performance indicators. Mr. Smaby?
Chairman Hamilton, board members, get closer here. Yeah, in your packet, I've had 2 different documents in here. One's the building division accomplishments for 2025, and also year-end performance reviews. If we can just, I'll briefly just go over some of the accomplishments we had. Our plans examining staff is fully staffed for once. So is our building inspection crew. So we've got a full staffed building department now. Some accomplishments, Paul Bafford, our senior inspector, retired, and Aaron Wells has taken that position as senior inspector. He was trying to get here today, but he couldn't make it because of inspections. This page really has just a lot of numbers, a lot of stats. If you kind of look down the, say, the permit issuances, we're slowing down a little bit, but we're really not. Administration and plan reviews are staying pretty consistent. Inspection and inspection stops are staying pretty consistent, but we are slowing down a little bit in the industry. We have seen an uptake in commercial projects, but residential is starting to slow down a little bit. Going on to the year-end performance reviews. Some of the accomplishments there, we've implemented the electronic permit submittal and electronic plan review system. We finally have got a lot of the bugs out of that system, and we're getting up to up to speed on that. Approximately 75% of all the submittals now are being done electronically, so that system's really working pretty good. Again, inspection programs, we're fully staffed. Some changes we had in the last year is manufactured home inspections were taken back over by the state, so we no longer conduct those inspections. And also septic inspections were taken over by our Environmental Services Division in Development Services. Building complaints have increased. As you know, we're increasing in population and also construction. We've had a pretty robust unsafe structure program. Basically, we've been working with the applicants on some of the unsafe and dangerous structures. We've got a 61% voluntary compliance rate, and so we've only basically utilized 22 of these structures that we've abated, that we've put on the tax rolls or a lien on the property. So we're getting pretty good compliance with working with the property owners. It's also, we've seen an increase in, in property values, which actually helps some of these structures. Some of the private parties are picking up these structures and flipping them or reconstructing some of the stuff. Another accomplishment in at least our administration portion is we've gone to tablet-based inspection formats. So we now have tablets in the field. We might be working on having the electronic plans on the tablet, as one of our members wanted. So we'll be looking at that. Overall, we're doing pretty good. We're slowing down a little bit, but we're not slowing down like per se the stats of the rest of the state or rest of the country. So I think we're staying pretty consistent. And that's all I have in reviews. If you have any questions, feel free to answer them.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this?
Just a question, not to be voted on, just to offer of a question if you can answer for me. Is there any way to adjust this, the online portal inspection request to maybe Sunday at midnight? Because we have a lot of people who do work on Saturday that are ready for a Monday inspection, and it kind of pushes us 2 days from getting on the job.
Chairman Hamilton, Member McKee, right now we've got a glitch in the program which is not allowing any inspections after Friday, I believe at 5 o'clock. So we realize there is a problem there. We've been working on it for a couple months now with the program company. What it's doing to us is we're getting minimal inspections on Monday. I'll just say we had 18, I think a couple weeks ago we had 18 inspections on Monday, and then we had 88 on Tuesday. So it's flipping them all over to the next day. And so, yeah, it's a concern we have, and we really want to get that fixed.
So it's a bug, it's not something that was programmed. Okay, thank you.
Correct.
That's great. Thank you very much.
With that said, Mr. Smedley, is there any way that we could do call-in inspections after 5 o'clock Friday and pick them up on the line like we used to for Monday and ease that burden a little bit?
Capacity.
Mr. Chair, I think, so our IT department, like Gilbert mentioned, is working on it pretty hard, pretty rigorously. They've found a solution, and I think we're getting close to being able to allow those inspections on the weekend. We're just that close to getting to it. As far as calling in, I don't know if we have the capability or ability to do that at this time. We can definitely look into it and then get back to you.
Just a suggestion until it gets fixed to help
Yeah,
this out.
we'd have to take a look at our staffing and be able to see if we would be able to do that.
You want to put it on the third quarter agenda?
Third quarter agenda too, yeah.
Is there any more discussion about this?
Mr. Chairman, I have a question because, obviously being around, county and all that from 21 years ago, they usually call me, the contractors, and they ask some questions. One of the things I need to ask Gilbert and also, Director, is that the question that they ask me is that, the computer system and all that was supposed to streamline to go a little bit faster processing, but it is working backward in terms of like the permit review and, things like that. And again, maybe what they're asking for is, what is the, I know that when they approach, I'm talking about Bullhead City, we have 10 working days. They say that, they have to review, plan technical check or whatever, and then another 10 working days for other planning. So it's about 20 working days. Do you have a set of like, ordinance in place for that? Or is it like, because I see the volume, obviously in 25 and versus 24 was reduced, significantly, but yet the process, it seems like it's getting a little bit longer based on those time constraints that they have. And again, that side of the table, our side of the table, they don't understand what exactly you have as a policy there that, they're following or you're following, that.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, Board Member Azarmi. So the Board of Supervisors wanted to make sure that we were getting permits out in a timely manner. That being said, they asked staff to look at it and to create a shot clock per se. And that's kind of what you're speaking to is we have 10 administrative days for review, 10 business days for the actual review. And then depending on the type of permit, maybe it's a little bit different. But those are just the maximums that we would be able to have. It's not what we are actually taking on each permit. I think a lot of times when we have an administrative review, taking in an application, it's either 1 or 2 days, sometimes 5 days at the most if we're getting a lot of permits in at one time. And then as far as the reviews are going, they're also not taking that 10 or 15 business days. It's usually around 5 business days is what I've seen going forward. And that's typically what it was prior to the new system being implemented. It's just now we're counting each day, making sure that we're not going over those maximums that the board has set for the development services to stay under.
Okay, I just add a follow-up question. Have you looked into, when the application was turned in and when actually the permit was issued to see if that, your statement is good because you're saying maximum, 10 days, but, there's a possibility on the second day the process is done. And, have you looked into that to see, because that's what I'm saying, is the feedback that I am getting is a little bit different. Yeah. And, one other thing is, like, for example, for a, retaining wall with a 5'4" wall on top, for example, that is very typical. It does have a stamp and everything on an existing home or whatever. They say that this has to go back in the line and follow the same, procedure of the 10+10. So is there any possibility that, you can evaluate that? And again, that would be very helpful for the field.
Mr. Chair, Board Member Azarmi, you're correct. So yeah, the new program does have timestamps basically on the permit showing us when did we receive it, when did we send it for review, when did we send comments, when did we issue the permit. So it will timestamp each portion of the permit application. That one of the consequences I've seen with the shot clock policy that that we implemented along with the board is that it is forcing us, even some easier permits, they got to go in line. Mm-hmm. Because we have to make sure that we're staying on top of the permits that we currently have. So even if it's a block wall that already has engineering that's ready to go, it's got to go in the back of the queue. I will say that we have looked at it recently, and it does look like we're getting the administrative review done within just a few days, so it's not taking the 10 business days. And then the plan review, our typical time frame is around 5 days. That's a lot of times it's getting comments to the applicant within those 5 days, and then the clock would stop and they would have to resubmit, and then they would have a new timeline. And it does have to go back through the queue in fairness for everybody that has permits in.
And is it possible, and that's another question they had, that, for example, all the different departments can concurrently review instead of, finishing one end and then go for another 10 working days after that. So they can, for example, flood control, sometimes they need to just bless it. They look, oh, okay, this is not the subdivision is not in the high-risk zone or whatever, and they can do it. So is it possible that these 10 days can be done, some of it concurrently?
They currently are.
They are?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everybody looks at the permit at the exact same time. Once we get it in, the clock starts for the administrative permit, right? Once we send it out for review, we send it to everybody for review. So all the different divisions, and they all have the exact same time. And they're reviewing it at that time, all at once.
Yeah, as I said, I haven't paid attention myself to it, but I would definitely look into, and if you don't mind, I'll return, a report to you to see, like, what exactly, is going on. Because again, the understanding out there is that, there are 2 10 days, not, 1 10-day concurrently.
No, when we send it out for review, for all the reviewers, it's that 10 days. They have 10 days to get that review done. And one thing also that's very nice about the online system is you can track that yourself. So you can see exactly, okay, planning has signed off on it. I still need building, but there's 3 days left, or there's 5 days left, or whatever it might be. So you can view that online as you're looking at your permit.
I appreciate that, thank you.
Yep.
Sure. If I might ask a follow-up question on that, is there any thing in the plans, let's say that inspectors in the field, they make a decision, a correction that requires a revision, and I'll just say like an addition or a deletion of a window, which they required on the plan. Sometimes they just say, make sure it gets done, and they, kind of correct and proceed and get that on the next inspection. But if we have something that requires a redesign, not a total, house design, but something that requires a resubmit of those plans, and we're not allowed to proceed any farther until we get those stamped and back, is there any way to get those kind of ahead in the queue as an emergency? So we don't have to wait, the 10 or 20 days to get, while we're in stagnation. You see my point? Is there anything in the way to get that expedited or set us forward in the queue as a post review instead of a revision as opposed to a new review?
Chairman Hamilton, Member McKee, yeah, it's always been our policy that the revisions usually come in over the counter, and we usually get those out. They don't really go back in the queue, because we understand you're waiting for, the fix or something like that. We would still probably hold that under a 10-day. Once you bring it in, we'd hold it I won't say hold it, but within 10 days. But typically, we do the revisions prior to the queue.
Okay, so would you suggest we hand deliver the revision as opposed to doing them online submittal?
Member McKee, yes, I would, because then we can
Okay.
discuss with the plans examiner at the counter exactly what we need, if you have everything or not.
Perfect, thank you.
Any more discussion on the year-end performance?
I'd just like to comment that even though I don't have any active permits, have been on a lot of job sites in the last 6 months, and I just want to shout out to your inspectors. They've been extremely courteous and very amenable. There's been, I think, a circumstance where the job actually wasn't ready for an inspection. The inspector was very kind about, hey, if I give you corrections here and I come back out, it's going to be a re-inspect fee, where they've waived, that and just said, hey, let's just, by the way, do these things and then call it in again. So again, the new inspectors have really been, I think, doing a nice job of, again, there's been times in the past when inspector-builder relationships were not wonderful, and right now, I think you have a really good team.
Chairman Hamilton, Ms. Ruge, we did pick up some good new inspectors, 2 of them at least. One is an ex-superintendent for a major builder in town, and another one was a engineering drafting for a structural engineer. So they're fairly knowledgeable and need minimal training, but they also came with real good attitudes too. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to echo what you mentioned. This is absolutely, they're doing a great job. Especially, I know in the construction industry, they were concerned about, change of the senior building inspector, but Aaron has done a great job. I mean, just want to let you know that in terms of being available and using common sense, which is very important, and especially in Bullhead City, coming out and trying to teach, the inspectors in our area He's been very effective on that. So I just want to congratulate you on your decision to be able to send Aaron down there to be able to support. And again, I'm hearing that from, other contractors as well. So thank you.
I'd like to offer a thumbs up too, if I might, despite all the bugs that we've had with the new submittal system, it works really good up front. I mean, it takes 10 minutes for me to do a submittal. I pull it off and hit done and it ships. It's really, I mean, I see the potential of this thing. And I think once we get the bugs out on it, I think it's going to be a really good system because it has some really major advantages. So thumbs up on that. Thank you for that. But like I said, it was kind of frustrating at the beginning, and I was assigned like 7 or 8 different portal access codes because over the years I've been Grand Canyon Development, Grand Canyon Dev, Grand Canyon Develop. So all these different names that people had written in, it made it kind of difficult. But we've worked through it, and the staff's been awesome at working through. Down in Bullhead, I met with Alexis and Alicia, and they sat down with me, went over everything, and so thumbs up on it. I think it's going to be a great program.
Just one more quick, do you have any flexibility to add different lines for inspections? That's one thing that's been a little bit of a pet peeve. Building out in the county, most of the homes that I or my son are involved in, typically there's a propane tank, and you don't have a place to list for a yard line inspection. It winds up going under something else, and just recently had an experience where the inspector came out and started looking at the entire building, and all we needed was the gas line inspected, but there's no place to schedule that. And when you put in the comments, it seems like comments tend to not get seen.
Chairman Hamilton, Member Ree, if you want after the meeting, we can get together and look at that. Or anybody, because we're still working out the bugs of our inspection list and the numbers involved and stuff like that. So any suggestions, we'll feel free.
Thank you. Our next item of business is our next meeting, tentatively scheduled for April 21st, 2026. Does that suit everybody's needs?
I will be out of the
meeting
country.
as needed?
I'll be out of the country, unfortunately.
Would there be another time
Do it.
for you after
I'm
that?
leaving 3 days before, and I won't get back till mid-May.
When?
Mid-May.
Chairman Hamilton and board members, I do believe we have one member that wants to add an item to that meeting agenda. Otherwise, we don't have anything to present. But I do believe a member wanted to add an item onto the agenda for that meeting.
So we'll schedule it for the 21st of April?
Up to your discretion, Chairman.
Is there any discussion on this from anybody, or?
That's fine.
I'll make a motion.
It's been moved and seconded that our next meeting for the Mojave County Building Code Advisory Board will be April 21st, 2026. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes. Next item is adjournment. Meeting adjourned. You tell me that every time.
The Attorney General's office gives different advice. I disagree with it.
I disagree. A lot of times